continue from Zohar from scratch, קוף סמך א', הקדמת ספר זוהר. אמר לרבי אלעזר, רבי אלעזר speaking, רבי אלעזר, those of you don't know, the son of רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, שמחה, שמחה, שמחה. אמר לו רבי אלעזר, מקרא זה שכתוב בילה רוחך מלך הגויים, כי לך יעתה. Who would not see you as a king among the nations, because it belonged to you. איזה שבח הוא זה? שרבי אלעזר, what kind of glory is that? אמר לו רבי שמעון his father answering, אלעזר בני, my son אלעזר. מקרא זה נאמר בכמה מקומות. This section is in few places. אבל ודאי אין הוא כך כמשמעותו הפשוטה. But it's not, say, the Admor of Ashlag, it's not as if we understand it simply. שכתוב, כי בכל החוכמי הגויים ובכל מלכותם מי אין כמוך. Because it's written also among the all wise people of the nation and all their kingdom, nobody is like you. שזה בא לתת פתחון פה לרשעים. Because it's there to make the wicked people that think that קדוש ברוך הוא אינו יודע את הרהורים ומחשבות שלהם. It's for people who think that God doesn't know what you're thinking. And think about it. I'm sure you're thinking highly of yourself or lower of yourself, and you think kind of God's skipping on that. That's actually a very important thing, what you're thinking. ובשביל זה יש להודיע השטות שלהם. For that reason, say רבי שמעון בר יוחאי to his son, we have to tell them the stupidity about them. כי פעם אחת, בא אליי פילוסוף. One time, say רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, I met a philosopher של אומות העולם. A non-Jewish philosopher. We talk about 2,000 years ago. אמר לי, when I say non-Jewish, it doesn't mean somebody who is against Judaism. At that time, philosophically, start from, I think, Greek or before. And sometimes when you study philosophy, it sounds spiritual, it sounds God, but it's based on your own conclusion without connecting it to God. And that's the danger of it. You guys say, based on your Torah, שאלוקיכם מושל בכל רום השמיים. That your God is rule heaven. וכל הצבאות and all the kingdom והמחנות and the camp אינם משיגים ואינם יודעים המקום שלו. They don't even know where he is. הנה המקרא הזה אינו מרבה כבודו כל כך. This section, says the philosopher, doesn't make your God so great. שכתוב, כי בכל חכמי הגויים, כל חכמים מי אין כמוך. It say, among all the wise people of the nation, and in all the kingdom, מי אין כמוך. There is nothing like you. מהי ההשוואה הזו לבני אדם שאין להם קיום? What is that point to tell it to people that has no full understanding? I want to see where it happened. Where did that philosopher happen? Yeah. So Rav Ashlag is helping us to know that it was in Rome, people from Rome, and he was very wise. And the reason he met Rabbi Shimon, he want to make fun of the wisdom of the Israel, of the Jew. And he want to make fun of the Jewish people who have only faith and believe and certainty, because they are tmimim. He said that the Jewish are tmimim, they are naive. Why? Because the level is talking about, I have to explain this section, otherwise we cannot understand it. Because mi en kamocha is come from the word ein. Ein means en sof, it's nothing there. So it's called דלית מחשבה תפיסה בכלל וכלל. It's saying פתח אליהו, in תיקוני הזוהר. We cannot grasp it. וחכם זה, and this wise man, היה מהפילוסופים. He was a philosopher that used to believe and say שעיקר עבודת השם היא להשיג אותו. If you want to connect to God, to worship God, you have to reach out to God. כי לדעתם הם משיגים אותו. To his opinion, they are as people, they grasp God. הוא בא להתלוצץ עלינו, and he only came to make fun of us, רבי שמעון. Why דווקא רומא? רבי שמעון say, why Rome כל רום? Wow, this I never knew. Why Rome כל רום? שהוא מרומם מכל שכל אנושי, והוא שליט ברומותו זו. צווה לכם לעבוד לפניו באמונה ותורה, לא לערער בו כלל. It's funny, it's not written clearly here, but Rome, from where the Romemut al Atzmam, they have ego, that they're special. And he told you just to worship him. And for example, in Kedusha of Musaf, when we say Baruch Kevod Hashem Bimkomo, because we don't even know where is Mekomo of Hashem. We don't even know where God is. And that's why he come to bother Rabbi Shimon. And he said, if your prophecy is to make God great, more than the other God, then this glory is not so great. And that's why you make fun of your God with this verse. And if you try to make your God great among the people who's dying, because no human being is staying alive. And he continue, קוף סמך ב' ועוד שאתם אומרים על הכתוב ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה. You guys say that your prophet Moshe Rabbeinu was the greatest. בישראל לא קם, אבל באומות העולם קם. And you guys say that among the Jew you had prophet is the best. But you also say that in the other nation they have also prophet. אף אני אומר ככה, I agree with you. בכל חכמי הגויים אין כמוהו. אבל חכמי ישראל יש כמוהו. I say that among the Jew you have wise people like Moshe Rabbeinu, but among the non-Jew you don't have somebody like Moshe Rabbeinu. So if we agree on that, say the philosopher, ואם כן אלוקים שיש כמוהו בחכמי ישראל, then God, there is like him among the wise people of Israel. Then there is not the real God that control everything. And please look at this subject and see that I was right. אמרתי לו, I answer him, say רבי שמעון, ודאי יפה אמרת. You spoke beautifully. שיש בישראל כמוהו. There is among the Israelite, among the Jew, there is like him. כי מי מחיה מתים. Because who can resurrect the dead? Only God. באו אליהו ואלישע והחיו מתים. If you look in the prophet of the Israelite, the famous one, Eliyahu הנביא, Elisha the prophet, ואלישע, Elisha resurrect Habakkuk, resurrect dead. מי מוריד גשמים? Who's taking rain down? הלא הקדוש ברוך הוא, only God. בא אליהו, מנע אותם והוריד אותם בתפילתו. Come Elisha the prophet, prevent rain to come down, and then he took it down by praying. מי עשה שמיים וארץ? Who did the heaven and earth? Only God. בא אברהם, come Abraham, ונתקיימו שמיים וארץ בקיומם בשבילו. Come Abraham, and because of him, heaven and earth function. It's a complicated subject. And for that reason, it's one of the only places I have to explain. It's called Delit Machshavat Tfiza Klal V'Klal. Tikkunei HaZohar said that you cannot grasp it. But among the Jew, used to be people who used to do crazy things like God doing. So tell us Rav Ashlag, I have to bring Rav Ashlag here, שעל ידי עסק בתורה ומצוות, לשמה, when a person studies Torah and mitzvot without ego, זוכים ישראל להידבק בו ממש. They get the glory, they get the connection to the Creator absolutely. ושכינתו, the manifestation of the power of God, is being direct with them through the action that the Creator himself is doing. That they are resurrect the dead, they are the one who put rain down, they are activating heaven and earth, so they are like God. But they only can do it because they have emunah shlema. They only can do it because they have absolute certainty and faith. תמימה, שאינם מעלים ערעור. It's only when you don't have ערעור on God. You don't have ערעור, you don't have wonder about God, to understand God with your wisdom. So in a way, Rabbi Shimon explained here that you have first to have faith. After you have faith, after you have emunah shlema, you have to have, I think that lecture is important for everybody. You have to have faith. After you have faith, you have to do Torah or mitzvot lishma. You have to study spirituality in Torah, lishma meaning no ego, and do mitzvot, no ego. Then you activated that force that God is giving you, but the faith is coming first. Not like the philosopher that understanding everything based on how wise they are. Mi manig hashemesh, continue Rabbi Shimon. Who is the one who tell the sun how to function? Only God. But by Joshua, v'ishtik oto. But Joshua came and stopped the sun. Shemesh begivon dom ve'yareach be'emek ayalon. There's a place called Latron, or Emek Ayalon, is where the moon stopped. So how come Joshua did that? וציווהו שיעמוד על העמדו, ונשתתק. Joshua said to the sun, stop. שכתוב, וידום השמש וירח עמד. הקדוש ברוך הוא גוזר דין, אף משה כך. If we look at the judgment that God put, Moses like this, גזר דין ונתקיים. He stopped, or he make things from happen. עוד הקדוש ברוך הוא גוזר גזרות, וצדיקי ישראל מבטלים אותם. God is putting decree, bad things to happen, and righteous people stop them. שכתוב צדיק משה ליראת אלוקים. Righteous are control everything. ועוד שקדוש ברוך הוא ציווה אותם ללכת ברחב ממש, להידמות לו בכל. And God also tell the Israelite or the Jew, walk like me, do things like me. הלך אותו הפילוסוף ונתגייר בכפר שכלים. After a conversation with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the philosopher converted. We're not talking about regular philosopher, guys. We're talking about the wisest person in Rome. The person who proved that all the faith of the Jew is wrong because they believe too much. So after he talked to Rabbi Shimon, he converted. וקראו יוסי הקטן. You want to know what his name in different books of that you're going to find? The little Yossi. ולמד הרבה תורה, he studied a lot of Torah. והוא בין החכמים והצדיקים שבאותו מקום. And he is one of the wisest and righteous people. So now we understand the אמונה פשוטה and תמימה, according to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It's kind of a חידוש, it's kind of new. You can study a lot of Torah, but you first have to check your level of אמונה in the Creator, the level of faith, the level of certainty in the Creator before you study. Because if you study to become wiser, according to Rabbi Shimon, it's dangerous. You're a philosopher. But if you study because God tells you so, now it's emunah tmima. Wow. So it's kind of a revelation for me because a lot of time when I study, I can talk only witness on myself. Sometimes I become smarter. But that's not the goal. The goal is to study because you have faith that God tells you to do that. So the philosopher was impressed. נתפעל מעמד זו עד שהלך ונתגייר. קיבל עליו עול תורה ומצוות. We're going back now. We're going back to what Rabbi Elazar said. והרי כתוב, כל הגויים כעין נגדו. Now we're going back to Rabbi Elazar. All the goyim, all the nation are nothing compared to him. איזה יתרון יש כאן? What's the purpose of saying it? ומשיב אל עמי, לא ירחם מלך הגויים. וכי מלך הגויים הוא ולא מלך ישראל. Why? God is only a king over the non-Jew and not over the Jew. It's all people. אלא בכל מקום רוצה כתוב לו להשתבח בישראל. God has a good time to take the Israelite or the Jewish people and to manifest himself through them. Not because, don't feel if you listen to it and you are a goy and you get upset, or if you're a Jew and you get a special thing, don't go there. That's physicality. Don't do that. ולא נקרא על ישראל לבד, שכתוב אלוקי ישראל. The name of God is the God of the Israelite. אלוקי העברים, the God of the Hebrew people. וכתוב כה אמר השם מלך ישראל. The Bible says, say the God, the King of Israelite. Why we call him the King of Israelite? אמרו מאוד עולם, מניין מגין אחר יש לנו בשמיים, כי מלככם אינו שולט אלא עליכם לבד, ועלינו אינו שולט. So they say, okay, we accept it, say the non-Jew. We have our own king. If they say מלך ישראל, so we're not going to go by that rule. We're going to have our own king. So they believe he doesn't control them. It's a very complicated section based on Kabbalah. I'm going to try to make it very simple. The whole idea of galut, the whole idea of exile, is for the nation to control us, the spiritual people or the Israelite, tachat shlitatam, under them. How they do it? Do you want to know how they do that? Unbelievable. על ידי החוכמה והמלכות שלהם. They have two ways, wisdom and kingdom. Kingdom is government, money, and all this and that. Chokhmah is philosophy and chokhmah. It's funny, my son studied major in philosophy. And part of the major in philosophy is to prove that Torah was written by human. It's a test for him. It's Gilgul, for sure. And it's a chance for him to study it so he can know what to answer. Like Rabbi Shimon studied that too and he knew how to answer. Very interesting. But where they get the wisdom, say Rav Ashlag? They said they cut it from the klipot. The klipot has a light. So they give them chokhmah. They give them shrara. And through their wisdom, they're so smart, their mission is to put irurim raim. What is the irurim raim? What happened to you in the galut? Did you ever wonder what happened to you in the galut? This Rav Ashlag is... What happened to you in the galut? לרצות להבינו יתברך מכל הבחינות. You try to understand God from every aspect. And that's philosophy. That's asur. Supposed to believe. Once you start to understand, you're being defected or affected by the disease. Is it clear? Because when you try to understand him, you develop something called שום התחשבות ברוממותו מלכותו יתברך. You no longer התחשבות, you no longer consider who you're talking to. Not supposed to understand, you're supposed to believe. And that's called irurim raim. Guys, this is, I thought irurim raim, bad thought, meaning when you think negative. No, bad thought meaning when you try to understand instead of trying to believe. And you know what the result of it? You want to know what the result spiritually? אנו מתרוקנים מכל שפע קדושה. בר מינן, חס ושלום, חס ושלום, חס ושלום. Because we try to understand all, and I'm sure we all fall into it, I know I do, we all lose the שפע קדושה. All what we accomplish as light and energy is gone. והשפע עובר למלכות שלהם. And that light of holiness going to their kingdom, to their government, to their money, to their everything. בסוד לא נתמלאה צור אלא מחורבנה של ירושלים. Guys, I'm not reading directly from the Zohar. I have to do this explanation because I have to. Because there is a verse that says that the impure side becoming strong only because the pure side get destroyed. שבזה משיגים כוח לרדות בנו ולהלקות אותנו. That's how they controlling us, like Egypt controlled us, to punish us, to beat us, ולהכריחנו לעשות רצונם, and to force us to do whatever they want. That's called, my friend, galut. So what are you gonna do? Our mission is בלי לערער חס ושלום אחר מידותיו יתברך. We have to be simple, without הרהור, just believe. כי אז אנו נדבקים בו יתברך לנצחיות בקשר לבל לימות. If you believe 100% without trying to learn and understand, you are forever connected. It's not easy, guys. I'm telling you this not because I'm there. I don't think I'm there. Actually, it's not I don't think, I'm sure I'm not there. Sorry to disappoint you all, my follower. But... ואז גם השם ייתן הטוב בכל אשר חשב לענות אותנו במחשבת הבריאה. Then all the goodness במחשבת הבריאה has come to you. And then זוכים לגאולה השלמה ולגמר התיקון. Then משיח is coming, temple, תחיית המתים, everything is finished. It's all what's missing. I hope somebody take it and pass it. I want to continue. That's not what I plan to do, but it's so important. What if you go into a rough time? Say Rav Ashlag. למה אתה סובל? Why are you suffering? He asked. Look what he write. So emotional about it. גם עונשים אלו אינם לרעתנו. It's not to hurt us. אלא להכשיר אותנו ליראתו יתברך. It's only so we can truly have certainty. Because when the galut go into a rough time with your life, so we start to believe bishlemut. We start to believe 100%. And remember, when Am Yisrael will have that 100% faith and certainty, תיבנה ירושלים, מחורבנה של צור. Yeah. Why? Who are the nations around us? Those of you studying Gemara, take it in Baba Metzia, if I'm not forgetting. It's called Shomer Chinam. There is laws in the Talmud about Shomer Besachar, Shomer Chinam. Let's say I gave you to give, to finish, I give you to hold kos kiddush, the cup of kiddush, and I said, do you mind to keep it for me? I'm going for a place for 4 weeks, and I come back, I want that cup. That's called Shomer Chinam. I didn't pay for that. So there is rules on that, Shomer Chinam. Okay? So he said that the Umot are Shomer Chinam. They keep the all goodness that belong to us, Yerushalayim והכל, until we will be ready. כדי להחזירם לנו בעת הרצויה. So it will be ours when the time comes. קושי השעבוד ששתו בנו is to wait for us to believe 100%. Guys, I don't know if you understand, that's a game changer, what we're looking at. That's why I'm speaking slowly, and that's why I'm not going to the Zohar. I stopped to go to Rav Ashlag, Kodesh HaKodeshim, Admor, Yehuda Ashlag. So if you want to look at them that Rodim Banu, you want to look at them that they are Rodim, they are like, we are slave and they are the kings, you need to look at it, if you have believed in the Creator, Nigla ata ההפך. שהם היו רק משמשים ועבדים שלנו. They are serving us to help us to have 100% certainty. ומה שנדמה מקודם שמלכים אותנו, it look like they hit us, it's the opposite. Because they are helping us to get into true certainty. I wish I can kiss the right hand of Rav Ashlag this second. And I wish Rav Ashlag will come back to life. So he can be bringing the Mashiach. But how come they so smart? Because their knowledge they get from 2 angels called, it's called Gaza and his friend, I cannot say the other name. And one day we will understand all the torture we went through, especially the people in Eretz Israel. We will understand it's actually for us to believe. And to live in Eretz Israel, I will not lie to you. It's a very... If you don't have belief when you live in Eretz Israel, what else do you have? I'm I'm continuing Kuf Samach Zayin. I'm coming back to the Zohar. I think that will be 2 more verses. Among the Goyim, among the nations, I found the book. מצאתי זה בספרי הראשונים. I want to make sure it's in their books. No. I think it's 2 subjects going on here. I just want to make sure. אבל בכל החמי גויים בכל מלכותם, יש השכנה בספרי קדמי דינון. I found a book that explained about this thing, that the kingdom and the army of above, ואף על פי שהפקידו על ימי העולם, וציווה לכל אחד לעשות עבודתו, מי הוא שיעשה אף אחד מהם כמוך, ושאתה רושם בערכך, ואתה רושם במצלך בכולם. זאת אומרת, אין כמוך השם. So we go back to Rabbi Lazar. Nobody is like God. Even that God gave the job to some angels to do, still, מי הוא הסתום הקדוש למעלה? Because מי אין כמוך, there is nobody like you. But no, the word nobody like you, why do you have to put nobody? From the word ein, the absent. There's nothing like God that will be like you and will be acting like you. אבל הם טעו. דרך עמודיהם בליהול, בקדוש ברוך הוא כתוב בראשית ברא אלוקים, בראותיו כתוב והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו. אמר רבי שמעון לחברים. רבי שמעון answer to the friend, בני החתונה הזאת. We're still discussing שבועות. כל אחד מכם יקשט קישוט אחר לכלה. All of you have to put one decoration at least to the bride. אמר לרבי אלעזר בנו, he said to his son רבי אלעזר, תן מתנה אחת לכלה, give gift for the bride, לשכינה, because זה שבועות. כי למחר יסתכל זעיר אנפין שיכנס לחופה, because קודשא בריך הוא, as you know, in מוסף, of שבועות, the most important holidays of the year, people disrespect it a little bit, when he come to meet his bride in their wedding, באלו שירים ותשבחות שנתנו לבני האחל שתעמוד לפניו. איסי הוא study, איסי הוא decorate the bride for him. Thank you very much for listening.